Hello, and welcome to the final Taking the Leap of 2022. I'm Caryn Saitz, and I am generally your host of Taking the Leap. But I decided that today we would flip the tables, and I've invited my good friend, Janice Ozguc, who is a friend and a colleague and someone I've known for a very long time, to actually take the reins and be today's host. And I am actually going to be today's guest. So, welcome, Janice, to Taking the Leap. Thank you so much for doing this. And I'm super excited to end the year with a different kind of a conversation.
Great. Thank you so much for having me.
And
I
are you
love doing
there?
this. This is so much fun. So I guess I'm on. I am going to welcome Caryn Saitz to Taking the Leap,
You are on.
just as she does everybody. And and I love this opportunity to kind of share what she does. Caryn and I, as she mentioned, we've known each other probably longer than I want to admit, because then it will show some things I don't want shown. But I know her story because I've been good friends with her for so long. But I think it would be great to just start out this whole interview with her telling her story, because it's a great story, and then it'll get us to where she is today. So, Caryn, go for it. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to where you are.
So thank you. And it's interesting to be on the other side of the table or the other side of the screen.
Right.
This is my 45th Taking the Leap of 2022, and getting me to this place in December of 2022 has been an interesting ride. I am an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, and if I had to think about what really defines me, it is really being an entrepreneur. I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. My dad was an amazing entrepreneur, and I didn't think of him as an entrepreneur then. I just thought of him A as my dad and B as this amazing business person. But we grew up where our dinner table was the discussion was business and work and life and the environment and you name it. And so I never, and he had multiple businesses, and I never thought twice about having multiple businesses or multiple goals or being in multiple lanes, as one would say. But I found myself doing that. And after graduate school, I thought I was going to be a product manager because that's what I wanted to be. I love consumer products, and I wanted to be a product marketing manager and be out there. And not what happened, but I ended up actually in a different place. And I started working for Liz Claiborne Accessories, and I love fashion and I love accessories. I mean, you just will never be able to take me off that accessory kick
We
of
know
buying
that.
them
We
and
know that
wearing
with all the
them.
things you wear. Yeah.
Exactly. But I do love them. And I worked with Liz Claiborne for 15 years, but as an independent contractor. And they gave me the opportunity to start my own business, build my own business, have my own showroom, be on the road, meet people, and be in New York every 2 weeks. And really live a very different life than I anticipated. And I learned so much. First of all, I learned how to sell. And I think in everything that we do today, you need to understand how to sell. And as a company, they were starting at zero. They had hired 5 independent people around the country. I was actually the only woman that had her own business and company, and it was unbelievably interesting. We, as a group, built the company to well over $100 million really quickly. I had a small territory. I had New England. And as you know, maybe even though it goes from the top of Maine to Connecticut to Greenwich, Connecticut, it's still not huge. But I was able to build it to $7 million in sales a year from
Wow.
zero. And honestly, I'd never sold anything. I knew nothing about sales. I think I had worked in the mall once, in Chestnut Hill near my house on a Christmas vacation. But other than that, but I loved what I was doing, and I loved meeting the people, and I loved the products. And so for me, it was just building relationships and getting to show them what I loved and going out there. And it was really great. And it was also just amazing, amazing training for what I was doing and what I am doing today. And I think for anyone who wants to have a company and a business, knowing how to build relationships and how to sell is really great. And they also allowed me, because I was an independent contractor, to start another company simultaneously, which was called Barrels of Fun, which I did about probably 5 years in. And it was kind of came out of giving gifts to the people at the company for helping me. And it was my Christmas holiday gifts to them, all the people in the warehouse and all the support people. And I went out and built these amazing barrels. And they were filled with every kind of fun, kitschy thing you can imagine. And the CEO at the time of Liz Claiborne said, "You got to sell these." And so 8 months later, I spent 7 months thinking about it and researching, and then went out and actually built my first barrel. And I built 70 of them and sent 70 prototypes to major companies around the country. And my client was HBO within a month of doing this. And I found myself selling them 17,000 products, of which I didn't know how to build or do anything of, really quickly. And again, it just grew. And I sold the company 8 years later, and then started doing other kinds of experiences. And one of the things that I found throughout everything that I've done that's gotten me to today is I love creating experience for people. And each barrel was a customized experience for the person who got it. 80% of it was, or more like 50-50. It was about 50% customized to things that they loved. And then the other 50% were just sort of the things that we put in every barrel, like jumping frogs and all kinds of food and candy and all kinds of fun things. And it really became a way for people to feel like, oh my God, when they opened it up, I can't believe that someone made this for me. And we ended up with 12,000 corporate clients. And when I sold
Wow.
it, and but I learned so much. Again, I packed a lot of boxes. I know how to use a tape gun really well. But overall, I learned about experiences for people and what mattered to them and how they processed receiving something that was for them, that was a gift that they didn't know was coming. And so it was an amazing, again, experience. And then I moved on and started creating events and retreats and conferences and you name it, which brings me to today because I'm still doing that. And the thing that really I found myself doing was creating connections for people through learning and through learning programs. And that's where I am today, where I create these learning programs and with companies, for companies, and they are doing it either to create bonding between themselves and their customers or their clients, or building connections and cultivating connections between their existing clients or their existing team or their staff. And so I love doing that, and I get to do that. But while doing that, again, I wanted to really, really give back, because throughout all of this, I've had a lot of mentors, and most of them have
Mhm.
been men. And I realized that there weren't a lot of role models for me that were women throughout this process, and over the course of 25, plus years, or 30 plus years, not having a woman mentor really was something that I had thought about. And how can I be a role model, and how can I be a mentor, and how can I find ways to give back, which has led to today and taking the leap. And also 2 years ago, right? Actually, I guess it was right at the beginning of COVID, I had started a mastermind for women. It's called the Renaissance Mastermind.
Which
And
I'm a part of, which is
it's
amazing,
which Janice is a part of, which
which I
is
can
really
vouch for.
about women. Right. It's about women supporting women. It's about women
Right.
coming together who had dreams of building their dream business, who wanted to take their skills and put them together and use them differently. All of the women, be quite candid, are 40 years old and more. And at the end of the day, our goal was to look at the next phase of our life and to think, how do we really want to build what we want to build, and how do we take the skills and all the experiences that we've had and either combine them or use them in a different way, and make something else happen. And over the last 2 years, I am honestly humbled and proud to say that everyone in the group has really
Mhm.
raised the bar and taken themselves to a different place.
Yeah,
And you can't ask for more. I mean, I feel like, I'm so genuinely humbled and excited to keep going because we're all in a different place than when we started 2 years ago. And it's really exciting to see the changes and to be part of the changes with everyone. So,
right.
so
It's
yeah,
absolutely it's fabulous. Like, so clearly, you've shared so much with us. Clearly, being an entrepreneur is in your blood. You grew up with it.
100%.
It's like that's the only thing that you do is start companies, build companies, make connections with people. And clearly, you started out, well, you did the barrels of fun, which was great. You sold, and that brought you to these corporate retreats. And I've known you so long to have done those. I've actually gone with you
On a
on
site visit with me.
sites visits and been able to kind of like go, and you make so many great, you know, opportunities for these mainly corporate and businesses. But then you've really made this jump. You took a leap into this new kind of experience. So I see your business being twofold, kind of like the first being still the corporate, the businesses. I don't see you ever leaving that, at least I don't, just because you're
It's
so
my
good
bread
at
and
it.
butter, and it's my heart, to
Right,
some
and
extent.
it's
So yeah.
great, and you have connections to bring in amazing people for venues that you create,
Thank
and
you.
quite frankly, the people love it. You've made so many connections with different groups that have you, basically have you do retreats and events and everything. But really, you've shared a little bit about like this new side of your business and the masterminds, which like I said I can vouch for. It's been such an amazing experience to be part of your mastermind group. And like you say, we've all connected, we share everything. Is we can say anything. We feel very like it's open. It's a wonderful experience. We all want to meet, if we get an opportunity.
Right.
And we're all sharing our life stories and getting help. So what more, what led you to really want to do this a little bit more? You've shared a little bit, but what really led you to want to do the mastermind and really concentrate on women? Like, I know you said you didn't have a role model, but you had a few. But
Mhm.
do you do
So
you
I think a couple of things, Janice. I think, when you do these programs for CEOs, and whether they're retreats or whether they're events or conferences or summits, if you're really good at it, nobody knows that you exist. You're like the wizard behind the screen, right?
right,
You,
exactly.
you
Make
know,
everything happen.
my goal, exactly. My goal is to make it happen. My goal is for that CEO or that leader or whoever it is to walk out, not to have to think about anything, and to be up there and get all of the attention for that program. That is my role. My role is to make it seamless for them, to make sure that all of it comes together with every detail taken care of. And they literally get to just walk in and do their thing. And that is an amazing feeling and an experience. And if my client is happy and they've been successful, then I am truly, genuinely happy, because it's not about me, it's about them, and you
Mhm.
learn that over time. I might think, oh my God, that was the most exciting thing I've ever seen, but it's not about me. It's really about them. And is it accomplishing their goals and their needs? So you're the wizard behind the curtain, is
Yeah,
kind of the way I
exactly.
put it, right? You're the magic that helps make it happen. Um, on the flip side of that, if I'm doing one-on-one coaching, or I'm running a mastermind, or if I'm, doing a master class, or, any of those things, it's me. And I get to give back, and I get to help one-on-one somebody else go out there and do their thing. So I'm not the wizard behind the screen anymore. I'm the wizard in front of the screen. And you get to a certain point in your life where you do want to be seen, and you do want to, you want others to learn from you. I mean, I've learned an unbelievable amount. I have had the opportunities to meet so many people and to learn with the people that I'm creating all these programs for. I mean, it's a unbelievable opportunity. I've done them for, Nobel Prize winners, and I've, sat in rooms with, the major scientists of the world. I've sat in rooms, where I'm just in awe of the people that are up on the stage, and that, I've met and worked with to make this happen. And not many people get to be in those seats. And so to be there has been amazing. And to be able to take what I've learned and share that with other people is also
Mhm.
amazing. And it's a different kind of thing. One, you're doing it for someone else, and here you're doing it for other people. So there's two sides to the business now. One is the
Mhm.
corporate side and the teams and all of the programs that I've been creating and hope and believe I'll keep growing and continuing to create. And the other side is how I personally can take all of the relationship building and all of the sales training and all of the different companies that I've been able to run and lead to the table to help other people do that. And all of the coaching is not for women. A lot of it, some of it is, and some of it isn't. Some of it is also for millennials and Gen Zs, like a new program that's coming out called Call. How many Gen Zs or millennials do you know that actually know how to pick up the phone and do something with it? They don't
Not
much. They don't know how
many.
to text it, but that's it. But they still give me a call. Like what? Like a phone? Like use it, call you, have a conversation? They don't know how to do that. So one of the programs that I'm rolling out at the beginning of the year is called Call. And basically it's connect, ask, listen, and learn. And there's an art to it, and there's a science to it as well. So my hope is that really I'm about two things. I'm about experiences and creating them, and I'm also and delivering them, and I'm also about connections. And I'm really about I think that at the end of the day it is about who you know. It's about the relationships that you build. It's about the connections that you make, and it's about understanding how to use them. So one of the things I personally am most proud of, and it is going to come out in 2023. And I've really worked extremely hard as we close out this year, is I have put together a book, which I'm super excited. The
We all
title
are.
right now, and I hope the final title is Become the Authentic Connector. And it's 49 ways to cultivate meaningful business and personal relationships. And it comes from 20 years of experience of doing it, of meeting presidents of countries, of going to their home, of bringing people to their home, of, I mean, I've really met a lot of people over the last 20 plus years of my life and been able to build amazing relationships. And I don't, it's funny, I don't use the word networking. I don't use the word sort of, oh, I want to network kind of. I don't know. To me, it's about a relationship, and it's about building it and cultivating. And the word cultivate for me is about planting the seeds. It's about, watering it. It's about, connecting
Mhm.
over and over with people in different ways.
Exactly.
And it's not a one-time thing. It's something that you have to do day in and day out. It's something that, a lot of people say, "Oh, I met them." And then how do you go back 10 years later and say, "Oh, I met you at XYZ?" It doesn't really work that way.
No.
I mean, someone once said to me, if I get to my life and I have 5 people that I know are my ride and die, friends
Mhm.
and whatever, then I've done really well. And I thought about them like 5, you know, but I do think that there's something to be said for your ride and die friendships. And
Right.
probably you're not going to have 20 ride and die friendships. You are going to have 5 or 10. Maybe you're lucky and have 2 hands full of people that if God forbid in the middle of the night you need something, you know that no matter what, you can call them. But if you only have 5, that's okay too.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you are fortunate if you can build those meaningful relationships. And also, I always say that it doesn't matter if someone starts out as a friend or someone you meet them through something that you're doing at work or whatever, because you never know once you're in that conversation with them where it's going to go. You don't
Mhm.
know if they're going to say, "Oh my God, I have a friend that you need to meet." And I'm lucky. I have friends that sort of fix me up or connect me all the time.
Mhm.
And I've met amazing people that way. So I look at it that it could be a personal relationship and you start as a friend and then ultimately maybe you end up doing work together or they introduce you to the person that becomes your business partner or who knows, or it can work either way. So yeah, I'm excited about what 2023 is going to bring, and yeah, there's a lot
Yeah,
more
tell
things on
us,
my
'cause
plate.
yeah, and I love the idea. I know I being your friend, I've seen you through starting the idea of starting this book, and we're so excited about seeing it come totally to fruition because it really is, I hope you don't mind me mentioning, but you coined, that what you kind of like the thing that describes you, I believe, is the architect of connections, right?
Right.
Because you not only help people connect, but, and help people learn that, like you said, that it's not just a one-time hello, that it's really building that relationship. But you have all these and you help others, and whenever, like, I'm talking or another friend is talking, it's like, I know somebody who can help you. And it's really an amazing skill. It's an amazing
It's a way of
ability that you,
thinking. I think it's just how you think that, you're
yeah.
always thinking about who can I introduce to who. It's sort of in the back of my mind. So I'm having a conversation and you're talking about, I really want to get XYZ for my home and I need to get it. Sometimes I used to think I was like the walking yellow pages, right? I was like, I
Yeah.
loved being a resource,
Yeah.
and somebody might tell me about something and it sort of is in the back of my head, it's in this network or in this cobweb in my head,
Yeah.
and because I go beyond that network and it places it in there and you never know. And then 2 weeks later someone says, I really need to find so and so, do you know anyone? And I found that people are calling me all the time. Even during COVID, on my website you'll see there's like blogs about the best way to get home deliveries, the best way to get all these different things, because I end up being this resource for people, and the resource is about sort of making those connections.
And
And
like
I've always and
sharing.
sharing it. Exactly. It's not about me, it's about helping you. It's about,
Right.
I mean, that's, when you think about what's your why, and my why is to help other people and to help make their life easier and for them
Mhm.
to connect with other people that, it's like one and one doesn't equal two when they come together. One and one equals like 10 when they come together.
Right.
And there's this magic that happens because they're a good fit. And, not everybody can sort of see that so and so is a good fit, but somehow that is an ability and a skill that
Yeah.
I picked up. It's like a matchmaker. It's like a business matchmaker. It's like a friend matchmaker. It's just the ability to be able to understand, these people can come together and do something really special. And if they don't. And but why not put them together? Why not
Right.
show them? And also, why not show other people my process of how do I do it? Because I do think, you do have a process. You
Mhm.
don't always identify that you have a process, but you do have a process of how you bring people together. So the book is about that. The book is about the process of doing that. And you'll see when it comes out, but it's a very interactive book, and it's meant to be engaging. It's meant to be able to pick up at any point in time and read different pieces of it.
Yeah.
And there will be other stories of super connectors who've gone out and who've taken some of the methods and some of the words and some of the ways that I use and that I believe in, and really embraced them and integrated them into their life and have been successful because of it. So that's one of the pieces. I think also in 2023, my another one of my personal goals, besides the book and the book launch, is to do more cohorts of the mastermind. I mean,
Mhm.
it's a really special thing when you get to see women come together and to be able to share and to build relationships and to build their dream business. And that is that is just like a wow factor that I can't get out of my system. And I really I'm excited about more cohorts starting. I'm excited
Yeah.
about more people being part of it. And I want them to get the same feeling and the same ability and the same knowledge and the same strength to inspire and empower them to go out and do the same thing, to do what it is, not the same thing, but to do what they believe in
Well,
and
yeah.
to try it. Because we all need a little nudge. I mean, like, let's be honest, we don't wake up, oh, I'm going to go do this every day. We wake up like, should I do this? Questioning, do I have the confidence? Do I have the
Right.
brains? Do I have the knowledge? And some people can easily get to the point and say, yeah, you know what? I got this. And other people, it takes a little bit, it
I
takes a
think
little bit
most
more of
people
a nudge.
Right, I think most people do, and most people like to be with other people who are kind of in similar places. Like, that's what I found was so great about the mastermind that I've been part of. All of us are kind of like, at least at the beginning, are kind of at a pivotal point. What should I do? Should I do this? And the camaraderie of the women is just amazing, that they all give you their perspective, and the more they get to know you, the more perspective and right on perspective is really comes through, and it's just a great place to be. So
Well,
just
I think
jumping
that a
back,
lot of trust has been built. Uh-huh. Oh, sorry, I
right.
didn't mean to interrupt. I was going to say, I think, it takes time to build trust and respect,
Yes.
and it doesn't happen overnight. And it doesn't happen in every group either. I mean, I think, let's be honest, sometimes there are people that just are not meant to be in a group together. But we've done a lot of work around how to balance that group out, whether we tested everybody from behavioral assessments beforehand to find out where are they on a continuum in terms of, are there some that are going to be very extroverted, some that are going to be very introverted, some that need to be pulled out, some that work well in
Mhm.
groups, some that don't work well in groups. And I think that's an important aspect when you are putting a group together, is to really spend some time and get to know them and understand, how do you fit in with that group, and do you fit in with that group? Because not everybody is going to be able to fit in easily in a certain group, but when they do, then the magic
Magic.
happens.
And it's really a testament to you, going back to your skill. Your skill is being able to draw out, be able to look like you put this mastermind together as the first, kind of pilot. And
Hmm.
you chose the people, and it's amazing how we connect. And it's through, again, that thing that, you see things in people and you think, okay, these people are going to be able to communicate well, to connect well. And that's really a great skill as you move forward in creating more masterminds.
Thank
And
you.
I know
Yeah.
you mentioned, that's your goal. So majorly, obviously, you're going to keep your core business with business in the corporate world. You're going to expand the masterminds. Anything else that you see in 2023? And then even jumping further, how do you see your business evolving even from beyond 2023?
So, we all have a dream.
Yeah, we
Oh,
all do.
maybe we don't all, but some of us do. And some of us who are an entrepreneur, I do have a dream. And I have been dreaming about the Dream Lunch Club for a really long time. So that is my dream. I will not say more about it right now, other than, I'd like to get the book out on the table. I'd obviously like to grow the masterminds, obviously my core business as well. But at the end of the day, I do think that there's another place where it will come together, and I'm hoping that it does. But I'm not, but I'm going to let things evolve as they evolve. And so right now there's a lot of one-on-one coaching on my table for going forward, which is the personal side of me that works with individuals, that gets to really, work with somebody one on one and see the progress and see the growth,
Yeah.
and help them to be able to go out there and achieve what they want to achieve. And there's about four different areas that I do one-on-one coaching, and you'll be able to see them on my website ultimately, or DM me or whatever. But one is around creating authentic connections. One is the ability to use the phone. One is if you're an introvert and you have a harder time, how do you go out there and meet the people that you want to meet? And you really do want to meet them, but it's not that easy for you to do that.
Hmm.
And then the other is for women who are building their dream business. And how do you go out there? How do you find the resources? How do you make the connections? Because, as I said, it's about the people that you know. You need people to help you along the way. None of us can do what we think we can do on our own. I mean, there's just nobody that is going to achieve what they want without the help of others. And whether it's women supporting women, or whether it's men supporting you and they're your mentor, my mentors are still men,
Hmm.
ironically.
Yeah.
And
Well,
at the same time, I hope to mentor, women, and girls who are growing up and who are younger, and who want to learn from other women. But at the end of the day, I have yet to find that one person. I will say I have now, because of the mastermind and some of the other programs that I'm working on. I do have an amazing, core group of women that I turn to.
hmm
But I also have mentors that are men. And so I'm not exclusively, working on these individual programs with women. I'd like the shift from the 80-20 that I'm used to, of 80% men in
Yeah.
all of the corporate work that I do, to shift a little bit more to the 60-40, or however that shift takes place. But I'm not looking to do that necessarily. And I think as the world has opened up, in terms of people going on these retreats, it's been an
Mhm.
interesting challenge, because I hadn't wanted to send anyone overseas. I personally was overseas when COVID started, doing a program for 100 trainers in Amsterdam. And I know how hard it was to get home. I know the issues of what happened, and all of that. And so, sending people overseas has been something that I have, um, not done a lot over the
Yeah,
last year.
shied away from.
I have shied away from it, because I don't want
Yeah,
people to get stuck in countries. I don't want them to
right.
get sick in countries. I don't want them, to be challenged. But I will say that, there's a lot, the world has opened up a lot more, and there are a lot more ways, um, to do that safely. And I feel good about that. But I also feel good about the concept of virtual, because I think what we've learned over the last couple of
Mhm,
years is that, where virtual was always secondary as a corporation or as a company, oh yeah, we could do a webinar, maybe we could stream this or something. Now the thinking has shifted, where virtual can be primary for so many companies,
mhm,
because the amount of people that they can reach in the world is so much greater than they
mhm.
could before. And now they realize, my audience is really global. Used to talk about, oh, globalization, oh, but it really is global now. And it's so much less expensive to do
Mhm.
that than it is to try to bring in people from all over the world to one country to meet in person. I mean, the costs are exorbitant. And, at the end of the day, so many things. And, one of the other programs that I work a lot on is increasing engagement around doing things virtually and in a hybrid. I just finished, a program that was partially in person, partially hybrid. Um, and, so much can be done today to really increase the engagement and the quality of the program, that I encourage people to really think about how to use virtual. They can use it more often. They can supplement it with small group programs in person. There's
Mhm.
so many different ways to think about doing what they may have just said, okay, we're going to just stop doing anything over the course of time. But I think you can now look at, how do you do it in a real variety of ways, and do it effectively, efficiently, and economically. Honestly, I think
Right.
all those pieces are important right now.
Yeah, and I think for you, it's made it, like you talked about how you were behind the curtain. Now with virtual, one, both with taking the leap and with the masterminds, you're out there, which is something that I think is great for you just in general, because people need to see you. You've got a great skill set, you do great things, bring people together. And now you can do it like in our mastermind. There's women in Canada, there's people in California, that it's like doesn't really matter. So virtual and taking the leap, you can bring people together and
All
interview
over the world,
these
exactly.
all over the world. Yeah, it's amazing. And you taking the leap, it gets recorded, and then it gets on your site and your
Right.
your
Yeah,
social
we do
media.
replay all of these on the YouTube channel. So anybody can, see them, hear them, share them at any point in time. But even the corporate side of the business,
Right,
I think is really important for companies to realize how much more they can do
right,
virtually, and do it well, and do it effectively, and really make a difference, and integrate. I mean, you can integrate plenty of in-person pieces to it.
right.
um, and I think that your dollar is going to stretch a lot more. And also I think it's really interesting when people ask me about, do I think that building relationships is as easy online as it is in person?
Mhm.
Look, I think we would all say that, meeting people in person has a certain
Right,
magic. It has a certain something. When you meet them, you're standing in front of them, you shake hands with them, you start chatting, you don't know where the conversation is going to go. There's all these elements. There's the elements of the space, there's the element of the person next to you. There's just, I don't think anybody wants any of that to go away. But
right.
can you actually build really good relationships virtually? I would say yes. I would say
Mhm.
for a couple of reasons. Number one, for anyone who doesn't like to walk into a networking event and they don't know who they're going to meet and
Right.
whatever, it's a lot easier if you actually do a networking program or some kind of a conversation or some kind of a meeting or sip and social as someone does online that I follow, or mastermind or any kind of a program. And if you do it virtually and the person who's running it is really talented and has thought about it, and you have to do a little more planning, it's not as
Right.
spontaneous, right? But if you
Mhm.
do plan it, it's amazing how you can get people to interact with one another and create really interesting friendships and relationships. And I'm not a believer that people are zoomed out. I don't get that, because I think they'll then go online, pick up their phone, and start
Right.
combing TikTok or combing Instagram. So is it that they're really is it they're really tired of being online, or they just don't want to bother to sit there and do this? And I think that you can make it interesting enough. I think you can make it not only interesting, but you can make it valuable for people. And so yeah, that's really my other focus. How do you really bring that value in those relationships and do it virtually, and through these really cool experiences? And I think that's what it's about. It's about what are the experiences that you can bring to the table that help people connect. And I think as an architect of connections and experiences, that's what I do. And it's just thinking about them, like what would make you excited, what would make the other person excited, and then making it happen. So
Yeah, and I
yeah,
think
I'm excited about going forward.
yeah, I think, to your point about the virtual, sometimes it's easier, especially like you mentioned that you do a program for people who are introverts. It's a lot easier for an introvert to be in their own environment and feel comfortable
100%.
and kind of get on a Zoom or whatever. And then that starts to probably grow. You know more than me, but that ability to kind of like meet people first just in your comfort of your own place, and then
Right. Well,
maybe
it's gonna be facilitated. So say
Mhm.
I'm gonna bring 5 people together. I'm gonna facilitate it. Bring them, I'm gonna put them in rooms together. I'm gonna ask them questions. They're
Mhm.
gonna help them open up with one another. They don't have to be, do I walk over to that person? Do I
Right.
say hello? What do I say? I've done that for them, right? And I've made
Yep.
it easy for them. And it's still not the easiest thing for that person to do that virtually, but they are in their own space. They're sitting in their
Mhm.
own chair, they don't feel uncomfortable from that perspective. And there's this safety and there's
Right.
this comfort level that makes it easier and makes it really successful for them. So yeah,
And then at some point, they might even get to the point where they will meet people in person and start feeling more comfortable in that level.
100%.
And that's what,
Exactly.
you can help facilitate that, and see that grow.
So
But
yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited to move forward. I hope that if anybody, I'm going to flip the table a little here and say, if anybody would like to be on Taking the Leap in the upcoming year, I am setting the schedule up now, at least for first quarter. I hope to be able to present them to you at least one a week. We started out, it ended up being a
and I
lot, but
think you should spread the word.
hopefully there'll be some in between. Yeah, so spread the word. Definitely, anybody who's interested, you can, DM me, or you can send me a note. And we're on LinkedIn, so you can actually, just send me a message on LinkedIn, or in the Facebook group, or on Instagram. I'm at Caryn Saitz. Really easy. And if you have a story, or if you have a friend that you an amazing story, definitely reach out, and I would love to. I do always do a short interview with them first to make sure that it's a good fit and to make sure that there's chemistry and that they're ready to tell their story. But I'd love to meet you, and I'd love to be able to help share your story, because it's honestly really about women supporting women, and learning from others' experiences and the lessons
Mhm.
learned, and just making our life easier. I don't think there's anyone out there that doesn't need a little bit of empowerment and inspiration, and just some strengthening, and know that they have the support and of others, and learn from others' mistakes. And we're all going to make mistakes. If we don't make a mistake,
Mhm.
there's something wrong. But we're
Yeah,
all going to make a
exactly.
mistake. knowing how to deal with that mistake and knowing that you have people that you can turn to help you deal with it is a makes a huge difference in our life. So yeah. So so if you'd like to tell your story, I'd love to be able to help share that message.
Right, and we really look forward to seeing your book come out. Excited. We'll see it on your website and all your socials, and,
Yep.
it's a great resource. I look at it from seeing it evolve. I look at it as a great thing to have on my bedside, pick it up maybe. What do I wanna read about today? What's gonna help me better? Where am I at? What C word am I gonna be able to utilize and help in
So
my
yes,
life?
it has a unique format that we won't tell you any more about, but yes, and yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, that is definitely my goal, is to have that out there and to share it with the world, and hopefully to help, even one person. And I know when I started my Barrels of Fun company, I said if I can sell one barrel to someone I don't know, I am going to be just so excited. And I kind of feel the same way. If I can sell a book to someone I don't know and they use it and it changes their life as much as it's changed mine, then honestly, I will be such a happy human being. So
Right,
thank
you
you.
you will achieve your goal.
I will achieve my goal.
Yeah,
Exactly. And
that's an amazing
and
thing.
it is an amazing thing and it feels great to do it. So Janice, I'm going to thank you
Oh, thank
for
you for
for
giving me this
flipping no,
I
for
loved
flipping
it.
the table today. It's really fun. I mean, look, we know each other well. We could sit and chat for hours on end,
Right.
and I hope you see that in us. That
I do, I
we're
do.
used to doing that. And so I want to thank everybody. I want to wish everybody a really happy and healthy and exciting new year, filled with everything that you want to do. Think about taking the leap, and not only
Mhm.
think about it, but take the leap. And
Right.
so go for it. And we're here to support you. We're here to share your story, and we're here to learn your story. So thank you so much. Thank you for all your support over the last year. It has truly meant the world to me. And Janice, thank you for doing this. And happy and healthy New Year, everybody. And
Yep,
here's cheers to 2023.
yep,
Thank
same for me.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.